Answer me! Stand there and fold yourself!
Long live the king!
Barnardo!
He.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now stroke 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stay! Who's there?
Friends to this ground, and liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Barnardo has my place. Give you good night.
Hurrah, Barnardo!
Say, what is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy. Therefore, I have entreated him along that if again the apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, 'twill not appear. Well, let us hear Barnardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star, that's westward from the pole, had made his course to illume that part of heaven, where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace! Break thee off! Look where it comes again!
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio!
Looks it not like the king? Mark ye, Horatio.
Most like, it harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou, that usurps this time of night together in the fair and warlike form in which the majesty of fairy Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge you, speak!
It is offended!
Stay! Speak! Speak! I charge you, speak!
It is gone and will not answer!
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy?
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, 'tis strange.
That's twice before, and just at this dead hour, with martial stock, hath it gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. But soft. Behold, lo, where it comes again! I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, Lucian. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease or grace to me, speak to me! Speak of it! Stay and speak! Stop it, my son!
Shall I strike at it with my partisan?
Do if it will not stand!
Tis here.
It's here!
It's gone!
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. But look, the morning russet mantle clad walks over the dew of yon high eastern hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen upon young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him.
Thus it will, and we shall go where we shall find him most conveniently.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us be fitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress of this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale, weighing both delight and dole, taken to wife. That nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is Laertes? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave in favor to return to France.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last upon his will have I set my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine. And now, my cousin Hamlet, And my son,
A little more than kin and less than kind.
how is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing from nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shows of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for their actions a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know your father lost a father. That father lost his. And to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven. Fie, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is the death of fathers. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire. We beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I prithee stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Don't worry, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as yourself in Denmark. Come, madam, this gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling on my heart. Come, away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie upon it, fie. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion, to a satyr so loving to my mother. Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she, oh heaven, a beast that once discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?
The same, my lord, your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. Marcellus?
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not have your enemy say so. I know you are no truant. But what is your affair at Elsinore?
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
Prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven ere I'd ever seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Oh, where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man, take him for all and all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration a while with an attent ear, that I may deliver upon witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Barnardo, on their watch in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father goes slow and stately by them. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where each word made true and good the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion like as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud and it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live by honor, though 'tis true.
Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Oh, my lord.
What looked he frowningly?
My countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale and red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Would I have been there?
It would have much amazed you.
Very like, very like. Stayed it long.
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw
I'll
it.
watch tonight, perchance to awake again.
I warrant you it well.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. So fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty is to your honor.
My love as mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked.
Farewell. And sister, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favors, hold it not permanent. Sweet not lasting, the perfume and suppliant till the minute no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now. But you must fear his greatness weighed. His will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. And if he says he loves you, weigh what loss your honor may sustain if with too credent ear you list his songs, and keep in the rear of your affection. Out of the shot in danger of desire, the cherished maid is prodigal enough, if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and reeks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. For here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles on a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for there. Ah, my blessing on thee, and these few precepts on thy memory. See thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unprecedented thought his act. Be familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Beware entrance into a quarrel, but being in it, bear it that the opposed may beware thee. Give Every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habits as thy purse can bear. Expressed not in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither borrower nor lender be. For loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. But this above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day thou canst not be false to any man. There, my blessing season this in thee.
I most humbly take my leave, my lord.
Go, time invites, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia. And remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is't, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Very well bethought. It has been told to me that he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself of your audience have been most free and bounteous. If 'tis has been put on me, and that by way of caution, I must tell you, you do not clearly understand yourself as behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? You speak like a green girl.
He hath, my lord, importuned me with love in honorable fashion, and hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks. I do know, daughter, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul gives vows to the tongue. But these blazes, giving more light than heat, you must not take for fire. For this time, I would have you be scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate. From this time, I would, in plain terms, have you slander no moment's leisure to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
Nipping in an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is stroke!
Indeed, I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit hell is wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, merriest. And to my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than in the observance.
Look, my lord. It comes. Angels and ministers of grace, defend us.
Be thou spirit of health, the goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven, a blast from hell. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me!
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it did some impartment desire to you alone. But do not go with it! No, by no means!
If will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord!
Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
What if it should tempt you to the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason, and draw you into madness? Think of it!
Grasp me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord!
Hold off your hand.
Be ruled, you shall not go!
My fate cries out, unhand me, gentlemen, by heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. Away, I say, go on. I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit for us to obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So what thou to revenge when thou shalt hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I'm forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul. List, list, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh God.
Revenge is foul murder.
Murder!
Murder most foul, isn't it best it is? This most foul, strange and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find it yet. Now Hamlet here. It's given out that sleeping in mine orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole air of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast with witchcraft of his wits, with traitorous gifts won to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming, virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there! But soft, methinks I sent the morning's air brief let me be. Sleeping within mine orchard, to my custom always in the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed heaven on in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it doth posit and curd thee thin and wholesome blood. Thus was I sleeping by a brother's hand at once dispatch, of life, of crown and queen at once dispatch, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught, either to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Adieu. Adieu, Hamlet. Remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven. Oh, earth. What else shall I couple hell? Oh, fire, hold my heart. Remember thee. Yea, that poor ghostful memory holds his seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee, yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter, yes, by heaven. Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain, smiling, damned villain! That one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it. So be it. Hello, boy, come, bird, come.
How is it, my noble lord? What is my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
My lord, by heaven.
But you'll be secret.
Aye, my lord.
There's not a villain living in all Denmark, but he's a knave.
There needs no ghost come from the grave, my lord, to tell us this.
All right, you are in the right. And so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you. For every man has business and desire, such as it is. And for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and warning words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. It is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
We will, my lord.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
No, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
Faith, my lord, not I.
No, I, my lord, in faith.
Upon our lives.
Swear.
Oh, day and night, this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy. How strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall give out a note that you know aught of me. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Now, Ophelia, what's the matter?
Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what in the name of heaven?
My lord, as I was sewing in my chamber, Lord Hamlet, pale as his shirt and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
But what said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to all the length of his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last the little shaking of mine arm, and with my head thus thrice waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound that it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. At done he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulders turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come with me. I will go to seek the king. Oh, this is the very ecstasy of love. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my lord, but I did do as you commanded, did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I did fear he did but trifle and meant to rack thee. Come, we go to seek the king. This must be known.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be more than his father's death that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself I cannot dream of. I entreat you both to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, much he hath talked of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres.
We both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bend to lay our services freely at your feet. To be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Amen.
This business is very well ended. liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, time is time, ought to be nothing but to waste day, night, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of all wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourish, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is it? Why, nothing else but to be mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I use no art at all. That your noble son is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. I have a daughter, have whilst she is mine, and in her duty and obedience she hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial, my soul's idol, the most beautiful Ophelia.
Tell this from Hamlet to her.
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt the earth doth move, doubt the truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh dear Ophelia, I may let these numbers, I have not the art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, oh most best, believe it, adieu, Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter showed me.
But how hath she received his love?
Oh, when I heard of this hot love on the wing, I went round to work. And to my young mistress I thus bespoke, the Lord Hamlet is a prince, and out of thy star this must not be. And then I precepts gave her, that she should lock herself away from his resort, admit no messenger, receive no token, which done, and she having taken the fruits of my advice, he thus repulsed. To make a short tale, fell into a sadness, thence to a watch, thence to a waiting, thence to a lightness, thence to a weakness, and from that declension into the madness upon which he now raves, and we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very likely.
Has there been such a time, I would fain know, when I have said a thing is positively so and has proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this prove otherwise.
How may we try it further?
You know, he does walk some 4 hours at a time here in the lobby.
He has indeed.
At such time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras, mark the encounter.
We will try it.
Oh, but look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, both of you, I beseech you, both away. I will board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does the Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That is most true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carry-on. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
I'll say you that. Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. Said I was a fishmonger. Oh, he is far gone, far gone. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
The matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical slave says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with weak hands. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For you yourself, sir, could be as old as I am if, like a crab, you could go backward.
This be madness, there's method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
That is indeed out of the air. How pregnant his replies are sometimes. My lord, I most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
You seek the Lord, Hamlet? There he is.
God save you, sir.
Mine honored lord, my most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou burn? Oh, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do ye both? What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
We think not so, my lord.
Aye, then 'tis none to you. There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it's a prison.
Why, then 'tis your ambition that makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams. But in the beaten way of friendship, what makes you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it of your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come. Nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. And there's a kind of confession in your looks that your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth. Forgone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
Well, to think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coted them on the way.
He that prays the king shall be welcome.
There are the players.
Gentlemen, you're welcome to Elm. My handsel.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, at each ear here. I shall prophesy. He comes to tell me of the players. Mark it, you say right, sir. Monday morning, 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rosencrantz was an actor in
The actors
Rome.
are come hither.
Buzz, buzz.
Oh, the best actors in all the world for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, tragical, historical, pastoral, comical, pastoral, historical, scene undivided, poem unlimited. These are the only men.
Oh, you're welcome, masters. Welcome all. Welcome, good friend. I'm glad to see thee well. Oh, my old friend, thy face is valiant since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, though it was never acted, or if it was, not above once, for the play I remember, please not the million. Though it was, as I received it, an excellent play. One speech in it I chiefly loved, 'twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. me see. Begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble, and thus o'er sighs with coagulate gore. The rugged Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you.
Anon he finds him. Unequal match. Pyrrhus at Priam drives. Enraged strikes wide. For lo, his sword, which was declining upon the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see against some storm, silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon, the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out! Thou strumpet fortune, and all you gods in general synod, take away her power.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard, prithee say on, come to Hecuba.
But who? Oh, who had seen the mobled queen run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames? But if the gods themselves had seen her then, and she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
He has not turned his color, and he has tears in his eyes. Pray you no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed?
I will see them according to their deserts, my lord.
God's bodkins, man, better. Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow them, friends. We'll hear it play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines that I would set down and insert in it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Now I am alone. What a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, can force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, destruction in his aspect, a broken voice, and all for nothing? For Hecuba? What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, make mad the guilty, and appall the free, yet I A dull and muddy-meddled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Ha! Swoons, I should take it. There cannot be but that I am pigeon-livered, and let gall to make oppression bitter. Ere this I should have fatted all the region kites, but this slave's awful, bloody body villain, remorseless, lecherous, treacherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! What an ass am I. This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab scullion. Fie upon it! Fall about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they will proclaim their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these plays something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tint him to the quick. If he but blench, I'll know my course. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And you can by no drift of circumstance get from him why he puts on this turbulent and dangerous lunacy.
He does confess he feels himself much distracted, but from what cause, he will by no means speak.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They have already ordered this night to play before him.
It is most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to see and hear the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may there affront Ophelia.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will lead him to his wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please ye, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that by show of such exercise you may color your loneliness. My lord, let us withdraw. I hear him coming.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, to sleep no more, and by sleep we say to end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. With hairs the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love the laws delay, the insolence of office and the scorns that patient merit of the unworthy take, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed has made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means, my lord?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not!
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, a time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between heaven and earth, where errant knaves all, believe none of us, go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help me, sweet husband.
Thou dost marry. I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape. Call me. Get thee to a nunnery. Go. Farewell. Or thou wilt needs marry a fool. The wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. Go thy ways to a nunnery, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, you heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your bankings well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. You lisp, you amble, and you jig. You nickname God's creatures and make your oneness their ignorance. Go to on them all. It has made me mad! I say we will have no more marriages! They that are married already, all but one shall live! The rest shall keep as they are! To a nunnery. Go.
the noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, aye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, not see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells, jangled out of tune and harsh, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked formula, or was not like madness. There's something in his soul over which his melancholy sits unbrewed, and I've no doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which, to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England for the demand of our neglected tributes.
It shall be well, but I do believe that the origin and commencement of these griefs sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please. But if you hold fit after the play, let his queen mother alone entreat him to show his griefs. Let her be round with him. I will silence me, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of your players do, I at least the town crier had spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand, thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, whirlwind of a passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the ear to hear a robustuous periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings. I pray you, avoid him.
I warrant your honor.
Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you are a step, not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is, from the purpose of playing, whose end both first and now, was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature. Go, make you ready. Tell Horatio.
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. Since my dear soul was mistress of my choice and could have been distinguished, her election hath sealed thee for herself. For thou hast been as one in suffering all that suffers nothing. A man whose fortune's buffets and rewards is ta'en with equal thanks. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There's a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance of which I told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkindle in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after, we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he should steal out to the whilst this play is playing and escape detecting, I'll pay the theft.
They're coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent in faith of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capon so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, good Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother, here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do mark that.
Lady, may I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Did you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought, to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Oh, what should a man do but be merry? Look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Why, then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. We shall know by these fellows. The players cannot keep counsel. They tell all.
Will they tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you'll show him. Be you not ashamed to show, he'll not shame you to tell you what it means.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or a posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Tellus' orbit ground, since love our hearts, and Hymen did our hands unite, commutual, in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state that I distrust you. And though I distrust, discomfort you, my lord, nothing must.
Faith, my love, I must leave thee, and shortly too. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband, let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison and jest, no offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. This play is an image of a murder done in Vienna. But what of that? Your Majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the gold jade wince, our withers are unwrung. Begin, come, murderer. The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life, usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzaga's wife.
The king rises!
Let's fight it with both fire!
My lord, give me some light.
Away! Light! Light! Why let the stricken deer do weep, the heart ungathered play? For some must watch while some must sleep. So runs the world away. Oh, good Horatio! I'll take the ghost where 1,000 pounds didst perceive.
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poison.
I did very well noted.
Oh, come, some music! Come, you recorders! For if the king like not the comedy, why then belike he likes it not pretty. Come, some music!
My lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, sir, what of him?
is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, rather with choler.
Your wisdom should signify itself the more richer to show itself to the doctor. For me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more choler.
Good my lord, start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir, pronounce.
The queen your mother hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, if it please you to make me a wholesome answer.
I cannot, sir.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer, my wit's disease.
Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother!
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And I do still by these pickers and stealers. Oh, a recorder. Let me see. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. You play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most excellent music. Look you, here are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. Why, do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently...
Do you see that cloud? That's almost in shape like a camel.
By the mass, it is indeed a camel.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I shall come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I shall come by and by.
I will tell her so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. It is now the very witching time of night when churchyards yawn. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft now to my mother. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none.
cannot! Nor stands it safe with us to let his madness rage. Therefore prepare yourself. I, your commission, will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so near us as does hourly grow out of his lunacies. Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this fear, which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It has the primal eldest curse upon't a brother's murder. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But what form of prayer may serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. This cannot be, for I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? A wretched state, a bosom black as death. O limed soul that's struggling to be free, oft more engaged. Help, angels, and bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is praying, and now Lord, do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. Up sword, and know thou a more horrid hint when he is drunk, a sleeper in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thought never to heaven go.
He will come straightway. Look, you lay it home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with. Now silence me e'en here. Pray you be round with him.
I'll warrant you, fear me not.
Mother!
Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
have you forgot me?
No, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and would you were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
Oh, what wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me?
What? Help! A rat! Dead! Dead!
Oh, me! What have you done?
Nay, I know not. Is it king?
Oh, lass, what a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. A wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy betters, take thy fortune. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart. So show I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou dost wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, plucks off the rose from a fair forehead of an innocent love, and makes a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice as oaths.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look here on this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See, what a grace was seated on his brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, and I, like Mars, to threaten or command, where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. This is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and waits upon a judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Oh, shame, where is thy blush?
Speak to me no more. Thou hast turned mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their kin.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an unseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love of a masty's sty.
Speak to me no more! These words like daggers enter in mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet!
A murderer of it! A cut-press of the empire and the rule that from the shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more!
A king of shreds and purges! Save me, and hover on me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he is mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide? Oh, say.
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you that you bend your eye on vacancy, and with their corporal air do hold discourse? Whereon do you look?
On him. On him. Look you how pale he glares. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects.
To whom do you speak this?
You see nothing there.
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Why, look, how it steals away. My father, in his habit as he lived. Look where it goes, even now out at the port.
It is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation, ecstasy, it's very cunning.
Ecstasy. My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and makes us healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword which madness would gamble from. Mother, love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul that not your trespass but my madness speaks. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the pure with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight. And when thou art desirous to be blessed, all blessing beg of you. For the same Lord I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be the scourge and minister. So again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. Thus bad begins, the worst remains behind.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means, that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and for a pair of reechy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that.
Like I had forgotten. 'Tis so concluded on.
This man shall set me packing. I'll lug his guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. His counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave. Who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward it in with you. Good night, mother.
There's matters in these sighs, these profound heaves you must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where is your son?
Alas, my good lord, what have I
What,
seen
Gertrude?
tonight?
How does Hamlet?
Mad as the wind and seas when both do contend which is mightier. In his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, he whips his dagger out, cries a rat, and in his brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to us all. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay. Safely stowed.
Hamlet! My lord! My lord, Hamlet!
What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they
What
come.
have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where it is that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and come with us to the king.
Bring me to him. Hide, fox, and all after!
I've sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? But we must not put the strong law on him. He's loved of the distracted multitude. Now, what's befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get
But
them.
where is he?
Without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Ho, Guildenstern, bring in my lord!
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper, where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of worms are eaten at. Your worm is your only emperor for a diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar are but variable service, 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, If you find him not this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed of thine for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is at the ready, and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So it is, if thou knewest our purpose.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
Oh, my mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh, and so, my mother. Come, for England!
Follow him at foot, tempt him with speed aboard, delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight! In England, if my love thou hold'st at aught, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purpose, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, as some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name.
Why? Then the Polak will not defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of the straw. I humbly thank you, sir.
God by you, sir.
Will it please you go, my lord?
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. All occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed a beast, no more? Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss with us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event a thought which quartered, hath but one part wisdom, and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why. Yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge to all that fortune, death, and danger dare even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason in my blood, and let all sleep? All to my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to the graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
I will not speak with her.
She's unfortunate. Indeed, distraught. Her moods will need be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father. Says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart, though nothing sure, much unhappily.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds. Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. How full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I, your true love, know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff and his sandal shoon.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you? Nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heel a stone.
Alas, look here, my lord.
How do ye, pretty lady?
Well, God ill do. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray you! Let's have no words of this. When they ask you what it means, say you this. By Gis and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By God, they are to blame, quoth she. Before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So what I have done my younger son, and now has not come to my bed.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed.
How long hath she been this?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close, give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, Gertrude, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone. Poor Ophelia divided from herself and her fair judgment. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France. Oh, Gertrude, this like to a murdering peace in many places gives me superfluous death.
What noise is this?
Where are my Switzers? Let them guard the doors.
Save yourself, my lord! Young Laertes in a riotous head obeys your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we. Laertes shall be king.
How cheerfully on the false trail they cry.
Where is this king?
Oh, thou vile king! Give me my father!
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. That such divinity doth head the king that treason can act little of his will. Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead?
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To head allegiance. Vows to the blackest devil. Conscience and grace in the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
I will. Not all the world.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, is writ in your revenge that swoop stake you shall draw both friend and foe.
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends, thus wide I'll ope my arms.
Now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your dear father's death and am most sensible in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment peer as day does to your eye.
Oh, now what noise is that? Oh, Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens. Is't possible? A young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life.
They bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey, nunny, hey, nunny. And on his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dove.
If thou had thy wits and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And there's pansies. That's for thoughts.
A document of madness. Thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbines. There's rue for you. And some for me. We may call it herb or grace of Sundays. You must wear your rue with the difference. There's a daisy. I would give you violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. For bonny sweet Robin was all his joy.
Thought and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns to favor and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was as white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone, he is gone. And we pass away, moan. God have mercy on his soul. Of all Christian souls, I pray God. Goodbye, you.
Do you see this, you gods?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief.
His means of death! His obscure burial! No trophy, sword, no harassment over his bones. No noble right, nor formal ostentation. Cry to be heard, as to from heaven to earth, that I must call in question.
And so you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. 'Twas Hamlet that killed your father. And you must put me in your heart for friend, since you have heard him with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
But tell me why you proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
No, for two special reasons. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. For myself, she is so conjunctive to my life, my soul, that as the star moves not but in its sphere, so I could not but by her. The other motive is the great love the general gender bear him.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves. And now what news?
A letter, my lord, from Hamlet.
From Hamlet. Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall recount the occasions of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean?
Know you the character?
'Tis Hamlet's character. It's naked, and in a postscript here he says, alone. Can you advise me?
I am lost in it, my lord, but let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
If so, you'll not overrule me to a peace.
I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, under the which he cannot choose but fall. And for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident. There was this gentleman of Normandy. He made confession of you and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especially, that he cried out, "'Twould be a sight indeed if one could match you, sir." This report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming o'er to play with him. Now, out of this.
Why out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son, indeed, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place, indeed, should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. We'll bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal, that I but dip a knife in it where it draws blood. No cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I dull him slightly, it may be death.
If this should fail, 'twere better not to said. Therefore this project should have a back or a second soft. Let me see. We'll make a solemn wager on your comings. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venomed stuck, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread on another's heels, so fast they'll follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow grows aslant her brook that shows his hoary leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come. There on the pendant bough her coronet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke when down the weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as if one incapable of her own distress. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with her drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas then, is she drowned?
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much water hath thou, poor Ophelia. Therefore I forbid my tears. But yet 'tis our trick. Nature her custom holds. Let shame say what it will. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
We must follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I, this will give it start again. Therefore we must follow.
In youth when I did love me, thought it was very sweet. To contract unto a my behove me, thought it was nothing meet. What is he who builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter? The gallows maker, for that fame outlives 1,000 tenants. I like thy wit well in good faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, thou dost ill to say, the gallows is built stronger than the church. Ergo, the gallows may do well to thee. Come to it again. Who is he who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter? Come, tell me that, and in folk. Oh, cudgel my brains no more about it. And when you're asked this question next, say a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. In youth, when I did love, me thought it was very sweet. To contract unto a my behalf, me thought there was nothing meet.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so. The hand of little employment hath the daintier since.
Do but age with his stealing steps hath caught me in his clutch, and has shipped me out until the land as if I had never been such.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave draws it to the ground. That might be the pate of a politician, one that could circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
To a pickaxe and a spade for and a shrouding sheet, or a bed of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
There's another. Why might not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddits now, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks? Why does he suffer this rude knave now to knock up about the sconce with a dirty shovel and will not tell him of his action of battery? I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sir?
Ah, mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest, didn't?
Ah, you lie out on, sir, therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in, and yet it is mine.
Well, dost lie in't? To be in, to say 'tis thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
Oh, 'tis a quick lie, sir, 'twill again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
No man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Ah, of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Can you not tell that? Any fool can tell you that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that was mad and sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there if he do not. It's no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him. There the men were as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Oh, very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, even with losing his wits.
On what ground?
Why, here, in Denmark. I've been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
I'm faith, if he be not rotten before he die, he shall last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tan with his trade, he will keep out the water a great while. Now, here's a skull. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Oh, a horse and mad fellows it was. Poured a flagon of Rhenish over my head once. This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Even that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Here on those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to put a table on a roar? Now get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favor she must cop. Let her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked o'er this fashion in the earth?
E'en so.
And smelt so?
E'en so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio. Why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twere to consider, too curiously to consider so.
No, faith, not a jot. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth into dust. The dust is earth. Of earth we make loam, and of that loam, why might he not stop a beer barrel? Imperial Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Soft. a while. Here comes the king.
That is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged, as we have once her death was doubtful. And but that great commando sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged, till the last trumpet.
Lay her in the earth. From her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife.
Oh, terrible woe. Fall 10 times treble on that cursed head whose wicked deed the most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold on here the while, till I have caught her in my arms once more. Now, pile your dust upon the quick and dead till on this flat the mountain you have made.
What is he whose griefs bear such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjure the wondering stars and make them stand like wonder-wounded tears? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
I will take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well, my prince. I can make it over.
Hamlet!
My lord, be quiet. I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
He is mad, Laertes.
Come.
Love of God, forbear him.
Show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would tear thyself, would drink up ice, lead or crocodile, I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us. Nay, and thou mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness.
Hear me, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in last night's speech will put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch upon your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
A pickaxe and a spade for and a shrouded sheet. Our pitiful.
So much for this, sir. You do remember all the circumstance.
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. And that should teach us there's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me in the dark, groped I to find out them. Had my desire, fingered the packet, and in fine, withdrew to mine own room again to unseal their grand commission, where I found Horatio. Oh, royal knavery. An exact command that on the supervised, no leisure bated, no. Not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure. But Wilt thou hear me how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
I sat me down, devised a new commission. Wilt thou know the effects of what I wrote? An earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them, as the palm should flourish, as peace should still her wheaten garland wear, and stand a comma between their amities, and many such like ases of great charge, that on the view and know of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, no shriving time allow.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience. But I am very sorry, Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his.
Peace. Who comes here?
Your lordship is right. Welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you. Dost thou know this waterfall?
No, my good lord.
Thy state is the more gracious for it, for 'tis a vice to know him.
Sweet lord, if your friendship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
We shall receive it with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use, 'tis for the head.
I thank your lordship, 'tis very hot.
No, believe me, 'tis very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed. His majesty bade me signify to you that he'd laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember.
Nay, in good faith, from mine ease and good faith. Sir, you are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is at his weapon.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons. But well.
The king, sir, hath laid that and a dozen passes between you and him. He shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 112 for 9, and that would come to immediate trial. If your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, 'tis the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him if I can. If not, I shall gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver you e'en so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours, yours.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. Thou wouldst not think how ills all hear about my heart. But it is no matter.
If your mind dislike anything, obey. I will forestall the repair hither and say you are not
Not
fit.
a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong, but pardon it as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done, I here proclaim, was madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far as your most generous thoughts, that I have shot my arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature and to receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I do embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance your skill shall like a star in the darkest night stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir?
No, by this hand.
Osric, give them the foils. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. Since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all length.
Aye, my lord.
Set me the stoups of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup and union shall he throw. Give me the cup. Let the kettle to the trumpets speak, the trumpets to the cannoneers without, the cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come on, sir.
What?
No! Judgment!
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again?
They stay, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this belt first. Sit by a while. Come.
Another hit, what say you? A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He is fat and scant of breath. Here's a napkin. Rub thy brows. Queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
And yet 'tis almost against my conscience.
Come for a third. Laertes, you but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I'm afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say you so, come on.
Nothing neither way.
I must you now!
She's willing to see the queen.
The drink. The drink. Oh my God, Hamlet, the drink. The drink. Poison.
Oh, villainy. How? Let the doors be locked! Treachery, stick it out! It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art slain! No medicine in the world can do thee good. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me! The king's to blame! The point in venom too! Then venom too! No! Defend me, friend! I have thou murderous and sensuous! Guilty Dane! Drink off this potion! Is thy wounded here? Follow thy mother!
No, sir. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death fall not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. Oh, I'm dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. You look pale and tremble at this chance, who are but mutes, audience to this act, and I but time. Oh, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause is right to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I'm more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
That's a man. Give me the cup. Let go. By heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio. What a wounded name. Thing standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain, to tell my story. Oh, die, Horatio. poison quieter crows my spirit. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Bodies high on the stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. So shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, and deaths put on by cunning and forced cause. And in this upshot, purposes mistook fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver. Take up the body. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go! Did the soldiers shoot?
you.